All right, just wanted to do this quick video comparing these three here. This was the mock or custom Fondor Haulcraft, which I built not too long ago. Got this from AliExpress. The actual person that originally, I believe, designed this should be I would have found in Rebrickable. I'll have the name of it listed in the description. I don't remember who it is, but I'm pretty sure this wasn't probably officially you want to call it licensed, or from AliExpress, whoever's doing these things over there. They got a bunch of mocks over there that they're selling, and I'm pretty sure they don't have any particular deal with anybody that actually created these. They just took the designs and selling them with all parts packaged. That's kind of why I did it. It took a heck of a long time this time to get this, almost 2 months, I think. I don't know, it just took a long time for them to get it and then finally ship it, and then just the whole process of going through customs and just shipping over here just took a long time, but it finally got here and I'm pretty pleased with it. It's pretty solid, and what I wanted was something that wasn't overly large because I don't have a lot of space. As you can see, I'm already overflowed here, and this wouldn't normally be like this, but I recently wanted to just, well, I picked up the new Enterprise D from Lego. That's a really cool set, especially if you can get it with the gift with purchase, the shuttle with Ensign Row. Otherwise, if I couldn't have gotten it, like it sold out before I could buy it somehow, then I would have said, screw it, just wait till it goes on sale, if even I'm going to bother getting it. But if I could get it, then that whole package would have been worth it, I think, for me. There's a more complete package, and it is kind of over here in this corner right there. It's not faced up, but you can see Star Trek 60 years over there next to this, which I also will need. Both of these I'll need to find a place to not so much a time, but a place to, once I built it, to put it up, because they do occupy quite a large space, as do these, and these are already play scale. These aren't even full. That's not even a UCS one. So what we have here is the more recent Ghost, based off of Ahsoka. So it has the Phantom 2. This is not the original playset that came out, I think, based on Rebels, which had the Phantom 1. And the whole build is different. This one seems much more refined and cleaner, and I'm just glad that they finally put that out. And I've had these two sitting for a long time underneath my desk here. I just bought it and I was like, oh, where am I going to put this? And anyways, I just finally decided to bust it out after all these. I mean, because this came out when the first season of Mandalorian came out, and before the UCS. So go figure, it's 2025 at the end of right now, going into 2026 really soon, just next month. So I can't even remember when the Mandalorian came out. Probably 2019 or 2020, was it? Something like that. Somewhere around there. But yeah, at least 4 or 5 years, right? Just been there. And this one came out when, I believe, Ahsoka came out, obviously, which isn't that long ago. So that's about at least a year, maybe 2 years by now. Has it been that long? Oh God, I don't even remember. Time flies. But I just wanted to build these and compare it to this, actually, because my thought was that, okay, I want something not too big and more friendly to handle, and I just don't have room for UCS size stuff, basically. And this seems like a good compromise to get a pretty decent model that looks fairly accurate. It's not 100%. I mean, none of these really are. There's slight, proportional changes to meet the play scale needs and functionality, right? And just ease of play. And I think this does it pretty well. And I showed this off already. And I was thinking that this is pretty good size. You can see the size of my hand, and roughly, I don't even know the measurements here. This is probably less than a foot. I'm thinking it's got to be at least 10 inches, right? Let me just grab I don't knock everything over back here. Oops. Sorry. This is it's not even in inches. Sorry. Hard for me to picture this. Okay, so this is basically 6 inches up to about here, and plus 4. Yes, I thought it was about 10 inches. and you can see how it scales up to that. And I thought these weren't quite as big as I thought they would be, especially this guy. I thought it would have been a bit smaller, but this is a pretty sizable set. And this isn't even, I mean, I can only imagine how big the UCS one is. I've seen it next to it, and it is noticeably bigger, but this is pretty good for the size. I would say that, and also the N1 Naboo Starfighter, that his replacement ship he had after this one got blown up. That was actually surprisingly fairly nicely built and big, in my opinion, for this play scale. It felt pretty good for what I was getting. It was a lot bigger than I expected. But this is how they compare. And I thought these would be a little bit closer, but these are definitely noticeably larger. And I guess this could have been if you wanted to scale it properly to somehow. These are none of these are on proportion, because this should certainly be a lot larger than that, I think, because this is holding, a crew of. Normally the cockpit should hold, 5 people up in there, right? Let alone the first person up front. But I think there's 2, at least 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe a 5th in the back. I forget exactly, but at least 4. Let's say that. And that's only holding a single, so you can imagine that should be a lot larger. Whereas this is pretty much holding a single. Now there was not UCS, but another. One of many, but another one that I was interested in. Excuse me. Fondor Haulcraft, like a mock, that was using this windshield, and I didn't even realize it was using that at the time. And if you look at this, you can imagine how much bigger that Fondor could be. I mean, right, off to the side, the width of this part, right, is probably going to be out to here, plus the wingspans coming out on either side, and how far it goes back, probably at least as far as this. So it's going to be really big, that Fondor, and I definitely would not have space for it. And I don't know, it looked pretty well built. There's one that was really had a lot of details, but the only reason besides the size I didn't go with that was because, and I probably could have fixed it, but the way they made it, the wingtips were actually in line with the front. It's like, they got so many of the details really nice and right, and it was they had a full interior too. It was pretty cool, but they just didn't get this thing long enough. Like, this should extend past the front a bit, as I shown on the little miniature that I got. But it is what it is. But anyways, I just mad rush to get those built, because they used to occupy this space here, which is, I knew this was incoming, so I needed a place to store this for a while until I can figure out when to build it, and what I'm going to do with the model once it's done. So I have to get these built and out of the way, so I'll start off with that. Got that done. It was a smaller piece count than this, even though it does look bigger, but and it doesn't have as much stuff. It just has a secondary craft in the back, right, the Phantom 2, and it definitely has more crew and all that. Let's see, this came with 1, 2, 3, 4, and this came with maybe 5. Not that big a difference in minifigs, and they're just minifigs, but just to show you the size comparison between these 3, and I'm okay with it. I think this still looks pretty good for what it is. And again, this has like an interior inside here, which is pretty decent. You can't stand out too much unless you're really down in here. Otherwise, you pretty much have to lay down. This has to remain open if you want to kind of do something in there and play, like he's getting ready, or maybe he's having a conversation with Andor, talking about I'm drawing a blank now. Rail. Damn it, I can't. It's been a long day. But anyways, what was I saying? So it has an interior, and the doors open on the sides, everything. And this, you gotta just kind of push in and down, and then it'll hold better, a little tighter. Let's try this. There we go. I just have to kind of really get my hands in and kind of push down in there, and then it'll kind of stay more set. But once it's there, it's fine. And you see it from the front a bit, but I think it's fine. You know, in some ways they're very play skill-ish. You know, like most of the times they don't have working landing gears. They just have something on the bottom that's basically set, and you can fly with it, kind of sticking out, I guess, or you can just land on something on the bottom, as you can see here. These legs on the landing gears on the bottom of the Ghost back there. You know, they're just there, and same with the Razor Crest over here. They just have like these skids or skid pads, and yeah, and they don't retract or anything, but it looks fine. You know, it's very playable. If you really wanted to, I guess you could just, all these you can just kind of remove them, so you can make them look like they're pretend retracted and in flight mode, but I don't see a real need to do that. But anyways, yeah, I'm not going to get into a review of any of these things really. There's plenty of them out there by now, because these sets are quite not new, but I'm glad I was finally able to build this, and now I gotta clear out some space to put these guys somewhere in a nice display cabinet, and see what my next move is. I think I gotta finish. There's a couple of things I need to refine on that mock there. I've been doing it. I think, have I shown any of this stuff? Maybe I gotta do a video on that too if I haven't yet. I don't think I actually have, but we'll see. I want to talk about this maybe later a little bit more. There's just a few things maybe along the bottom and maybe on the top there that, and if I really want to get into it, I really should change that stripe to gray instead of it being orange, but I'm not sure if that's such a big deal. But the rest of it is pretty good. And I got to figure out a display stand as well, because I was going to do one like in the MIDI scale, like the one back there, which actually I did shorten. That's why you got some different colored bricks back there. I'm trying to get it to fit inside one of these display cases. It just needs to be a little bit shorter, and then I keep it dust free. But anyways, I was trying to make a see the stand, you know, like the one there, and of course you know, if you're familiar with the MIDI scale to Star Wars, Lego Star Wars, then they obviously have the same kind of base stand. I was going to do something like that for this, but where the weight is really close to the front of this engine. It's actually right there, and so if I put it in the front, it won't quite hold it right, I think, and also it'll block the engine in the front, which doesn't look so good. And then if I put it on the bottom, it's going to stick kind of high. It actually would probably work better if I could mount it to the back and just make it really low. I haven't decided yet. The best thing would be to do a clear acrylic one to custom fit around the bottom engine, as well as somewhere up in the midsection. But I can't do that until I figure out if I'm really done with the, sorry, it's in the way. If I'm really done with the bottom, I feel like there should be a little bit something more added to the bottom to really make it look closer to, I think, all the details that I showed you. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm still in the works, in the middle of trying to figure that out. I mean, because I did some stuff on the bottom here, trying to point out that might make it difficult to mount to the bottom of this securely. We'll see. I'm not quite sure where I'm at with that, and that's about it. So as far as that's concerned, I mean, in terms of Lego projects, yeah, these really big ones are gonna take a while because I need the space. I don't really have that yet, but I just wanted to secure these, both because the gift we purchased at the time were, you know, I think they were worth it. Like they had the Camino like training facility with the clones, and that special like what do you call that, enforcer pod or droid thing, enforcer like craft. That's kind of unusual that you only see for like 3 seconds in the movie or so. That was just cool just to have that, and you're not gonna be able to find that again. And then of course the ensign row with this, that's going to be cool. Just had to get these two on basically pretty close to the day of to make sure I got them. And there is this Galaxy Explorer here, which the old school one, which this is the remake that they did, uh, which I really want to build too, because I got this because this was like, I remember having the original one way back, and it was like one of my favorites, and I played with that for a lot. But then I, of course, don't have one of my original Legos, and when they made this guy, sorry, I'm just trying to get into this the dark space here. It's like, oh, they improved it and kind of up the details and everything, which was really cool. So had to get that. But that's also a pretty big one. It's, from what I recall, from the looks of it, the wingspan on that thing is going to be pretty wide, and this doesn't look short either. It's pretty long. So that's another relatively big one. And then there are some upcoming sets from Star Wars. Pretty soon, January 1st, we got the new we got the new AT-ATs, like mini scale, which that looks pretty cool. It's pretty small, but actually that fits perfectly, at least in my opinion, the size that I want to be able to keep things and display, and not go too crazy on the taking up space. What else? The new Mando with the Grogu. It's a pretty good set for $10 on the speeder. And because he's got that, I kind of want to get the Cobb Vanth one that's also coming out at the same time. It is a bit pricier, like 3 times as much, a little bit more than that actually. It's like $35. I'll see, maybe I'll wait to get that for on sale, but I think that would be good to pair up with Mando on the speeder, because they have the scene where they're both riding together, across Tatooine. I think when they're trying to negotiate and work with the Tusken Raiders, right, or so. So I think that'd be cool. And they got Cad Bane, and both those figures look really nice. And what else? So those are relatively small, but it's coming up, midi scale, and I want to say that's as far as I can think of right now. I might be forgetting something. Those are the main Star Wars ones. I am really interested in the Stranger Things Creo House. That's going to be based on basically mostly season 5, the final season that's going on right now. I just finished binging it, the first 4 episodes. The next 4 will come out in about a month, or less than that now, but right around Christmas. And yeah, I mean, I love that series. Grew up in the 80s. There's a lot of cool things that I can relate to in that. So I'll probably I would like to pick that up. It has a really good minifigure lineup with that as well. The play feature, just the way how the house can explode and be all like floating, and you can basically make it in 3 different states. But I doubt if I'm gonna mess around with that. But I just the nostalgic factor, and I really like the show. And I think that it has a pretty complete lineup of characters, and considering the price, and then if you can get it with the gift of purchase, which you get the rest of the cast, I guess, which unfortunately they're not, from what I hear, they're not really exclusive minifigs, or even the set itself. Like, you can basically source the parts from Bricklink and stuff, and basically build it up for the most part. Like even the characters for Hopper and Joyce, I think they said Joyce was made up of a mix of Harry Potter minifig pieces, which is unfortunate. It's too bad. I mean, yeah, you could do that, but I don't think I'm gonna want to bother sourcing all that stuff. And there are some exclusive, just like a few exclusive, like stickers or little items in that set that you probably never get anywhere else, which, I mean, I'm not looking at it as an investment or money, but then that does make it a little bit more worth it to try to get that gift for purchase with that Stranger Things, so you got the whole cast. I wish I had gotten the upside down before. I think the only thing that they're missing from that set is the Demogorgon. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, surprisingly, that's absent from that set, although they had it from the first one. But I think it would definitely benefit to have them again in this set. But even they should have probably thrown it as one of the gift of purchase things, include it with that. but I don't know. Not a big deal, but and maybe I could source that figure somewhere else. I've seen someone modify a keychain, so maybe I might do that if I do decide to pick up that Creole house. And I think that's it for the immediate future. Sorry, I've been blabbing on. It's mostly about this stuff. I just wanted to show the comparison of size. You can just, here it is again, just to see. And definitely feels from small, medium to, these are almost the same, but really this is a bit more larger. I mean, you can see it's got the height. The width is actually wider than this, which include the engines, and definitely from the length from the head to the tail is actually, well, it's pretty, now that I think about it, it's probably pretty close to this. It's not that far off, actually. So, yeah, it's pretty, but there's a lot of interior play space in here, and a pretty decent amount in here. Not quite as much, because that opens all up all the way on the all around, almost. But this, yeah, this here, if it could open and get as much as there was in here, then yeah, I mean, again, I'd have to make this build a lot larger, and I don't need to do that, because I'm never really gonna, once I build it, these are pretty much gonna stay in this form until someone wants to check it out closer. Then I'll pull it out and, you know, show it. But then otherwise, I think it does the job just fine for my own purposes of just enjoying it at home. And that's it. Thanks for watching.